Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to be returning for the first time in a very long time. I don't know if we've done a track by them since I did brain salad surgery a long while ago. But we're going to be checking out Lucky Man by Emerson, Lake, and Palmer. Yeah, I'm really excited to check this out, so really quick, my name's Daniel, and here we react to music. That's all you need to know. Let's get into this. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you're having a great day, great week, and yeah, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
He had white horses and ladies by the score, all dressed in satin and waiting by the door. Ooh, what a lucky man he was. Ooh, what a lucky man he was.
Love the drumming.
Lace and feathers, they made up his bed. A gold-covered mattress on which he was led. Ooh, what a lucky man he was. Ooh, what a lucky man he was.
Oh, again, the drumming. Amazing.
He went to fight wars.
I'm just going to pause it for 1 second. That'll be the only time I do so. Love the harmony on the chorus. Like the first time he sang it solo, or his vocal was solo, and then each time after we've had stuff coming in to make it very full. Chorus is awesome. I really like the lyrics too. Yeah, love it so far. Bass is awesome, guitar is awesome, the little solo section, drumming's amazing. Let's go.
For his country and his king, of his honor and his glory, the people would sing. Ooh, what a lucky man he was. Ooh, what a lucky man he was. A bullet had found him, his blood ran as he cried. No
Sad.
way could save him, so he lay down and he died. Ooh, what a lucky man he was. Ooh, what a lucky man he was.
Okay. That's amazing, man. Wow. When that synth thing came in, I was like, there they are. There we go. Wow. Emerson, Lake and Palmer, man. Amazing. Amazing act. Love it so much. Okay. That was awesome. Um, damn. All right. Thank you very much for coming along for that. Let's take a look at some of the comments. We played this at my wedding as my bride walked up the aisle 47 years ago. That's awesome. What a lucky man he was. Also, though, didn't the guy die in this song? He gets shot. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. The synthesizer at the end makes this feel very 1970s anti-war, while the lyrics remind you of the sadness within, courage in the face of fears, of soldiers' sacrifice and the search for vain glory. You can imagine, because of the ethereal synth at the end, these guys in helicopters and Nam flying over the jungle must have listened to it and kind of spaced out for a minute or two, especially if they were high, which reportedly many of them were. Perfectly fitting tribute to one of the greatest bands the world ever heard. One of the best songs I've ever heard, so much said in so few words. Written by a 12-year-old. What? A classic ballad from the early years of the supergroup. Written when Greg Lake was just 12 years old. Holy cow! That's amazing. And released in 1970. That's amazing. This milestone of progressive rock had moderate chart success. As the final track on their debut album, Lucky Man demonstrates each member's specialty and solidified their description as a supergroup. It's quite atypical of the previous tracks on the LP. Holy cow, this was written by a 12-year-old. Were the lyrics all... I mean, not the lyrics. Was the music written by a 12-year-old too, or just the lyrics? Very subtle acoustic guitar led in by Greg Lake, joined by Carl Palmer on drums. The song displays the trio's multiple instrumental skills on multiple instruments throughout. A fact that caused the live performances to sound different from the album version, with shorter and less electric components, which, yeah, that makes sense. He had white horses and ladies by the score, all dressed in satin and waiting by the door. What a lucky man he was. A picture of a man who has it all. The white horses as a symbol of richness give a clue to the medieval origin of the tale. The first stanza describes the past, or the live section of the story. It will serve as a stark contrast to the later part. Some may see it as a description of a funeral where a hearse is pulled by white horses and he's mourned by the heartbroken ladies. What a lucky man he was. Notice the was instead of is, you know? Irony. To call the dead man lucky would be normally considered cynical or even macabre, considering it was written in the 60s by a baby boomer not very long after World War II. Not a huge fan of the generational labels, but whatever. The anti-war sentiment would indeed produce such a statement. However, unless extremely precocious, a 12-year-old may indeed be naive enough to assume that dying for one's country is somehow lucky. It was actually inspired by a medieval story which Lake had recounted in his own words. The notion has been around as long as there were wars and addressed from satirical aspect anti-war essays to what some may call a declaration of patriotism, and naturally subjects for dissertations. Interesting. What a lucky man he was. If we consider the first stanza a description of wealth and privilege, he was indeed lucky, or appeared this way to the ones who were not. White lace and feathers, they made up his bed, a gold-covered mattress on which he was laid. They, the lace and feathers, are the servants and maids who indeed made his bed. A strong hint that the song is all about a person who has passed away. Otherwise, why would he have laid there? Would he be laid there, presumably by others? It is doubtful that a 12-year-old would have other intentions. You don't know that. And as extreme as it may sound, these are popular nowadays. 22-karat gold woven into the mattress. Laid is pronounced to rhyme with bed using a poetic license. What a lucky man he was. The original recording by Greg Lake was missing the intricate instrumental intervals and background in the final release, a simple ballad unbelievably written when he was 12. This version almost caused the song's rejection and not being included on the album. That's stupid that they would listen to a demo version and decide, well, no, we're just not going to include it. But thankfully they did, and we got this amazing song. A signature progressive instrumental interval, equally displaying Greg Lake's guitar and bass, Keith Emerson's synthesizer, and Colin Palmer's distinctive background drumming. Just a hint of what comes in the outro. Yes. He went to fight wars for his country and his king. Of his honor and his glory the people would sing. What a lucky man he was. In a Songfacts interview, Greg Lake discusses this statement, its origin and evolution. The lyrics never changed, but strangely enough, over time, the way that people perceived the song changed. Perhaps it was vaguely something to do with the Vietnam War, that period just at the end of the war. Some people associated it with the John Kennedy assassination. It had those sort of overtones, so it was connected in a way to an era when there was a lot of war and drama like that. Interesting. War and also drama. But the lyrics really got interpreted in a way which I'd never intended them to be. Of course, when I wrote it, I was a young kid. A bullet had found him, his blood ran as he cried. No money could save him, so he laid down and he died. While the story is medieval, the bullet indicates a later war. An arrow would have put the matter to rest, and there were many to choose from the first 60-plus years of the 20th century. Numbers of, let's see, except he was British, and those are American wars. The medieval period extends to about 1500, and the bullets were used in European warfare by that time. Interesting. And also, bullet can be a generic term for a projectile. Oh, what a lucky man he was. One lucky thing for both band and fans and listeners is the fact that the song was recorded by the band and included on the album. All that fame and fortune almost never happened. The group was signed very quickly to record its first album. On the last day of recording, it became obvious there was not enough material to fill the contract requirements of 21 sides of music per LP side. The trio needed one more song, but they recorded all they had. Greg Lake started playing a ballad he'd written when he was 12 years old. 12-string guitar and vocals, very folk pop. The group never envisioned this kind of music to be their sound, and frankly, everything else on the album is very remote from this style. But stuck, at the 11th hour, the group started to record improvising arrangements as they laid down track after track. Emerson's landmark Moog solo at the end was his first take, and he wasn't even aware the tape was running. That's amazing. A Set of Circumstances and The Song of a Child became ELP's long-lasting hit and consequently forced the group to make room for more such ballads in the future. I love how the comment under this is pretty good song. What? It's a lot more than just pretty good. Especially the instrumental outro takes it up so high. Emerson's fantastic synthesizer solo demonstrates why ELP is one of the most important and impressive progressive bands ever. The song until the outro was recorded by Emerson, described as Lake. He couldn't really find a part to play on the song, so he went down to the pub. I made the record, basically. When he got back, it was pretty much finished, and he just said, wow. What he'd heard when he'd left was just me singing this little folk song, and when he came back, what he was hearing was 5-part harmony, triple-tracked acoustic guitars, and all the rest of it, and he was quite shocked, and he said, I better play on it. So it just happened that very day we had a Moog synthesizer delivered, so I said, why don't you try the new synthesizer on it? Of course, Keith said, I haven't had a chance to experiment with it yet, I'm going to need some time. And I said, give it a go anyway, and he was out there and started experimenting, and how long it takes to go from one note and then slide up to another note. What the recording is him experimenting. He just messed around with it, and it just happened. I had the good sense to push the red button to record him. On those days, we used to run out of tracks, and we had no more tracks to record onto. Keith wanted to do another take, but I said, no, we have to keep this take. We almost fell out over it. In the end, I said, please, come and listen to what we've recorded before we erase it, because if we erase it, it's gone forever. And he came in, he heard it. Well, what do you say? You'd have to be deaf to not hear how good it is, right? And it was kind of perfect because he hadn't preconceived it. It just came out of the end of his fingers, literally. And I think that's the key to why it's so popular. There was total fluidity. There's not a moment where he stops to think. It's free playing. If he hit a wrong note, he couldn't give a garbage. And right until the end, fantastic. There you are. That's what art's all about. Sometimes, actually, you do get lucky. And that is Emerson, Lake and Palmer's Lucky Man. Amazing track. Love it. Thank you for joining me. Hope you're having a great day. Stay tuned for more videos, and if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Bye.